Why would China damage its own claimed territories? The Spratly Islands, long a point of contention, are vanishing. These islands, which have been the subject of numerous territorial disputes, are now disappearing before our eyes, not due to natural erosion or rising sea levels, but because of human intervention. But this is not the work of natural forces. The rapid transformation of these islands is a result of deliberate actions driven by geopolitical ambitions and strategic interests. This destruction is happening at an alarming pace, orchestrated by none other than China. Massive construction projects, land reclamation and deforestation are reshaping the landscape, turning once pristine environments into militarized zones. Why would China, a nation claiming these islands as its own, engage in such environmental carnage? The answer lies in a complex web of geopolitical strategy, national security concerns, and economic interests. The answer may be more complex than we realize. China's actions in the West Philippine Sea are part of a broader strategy to assert its dominance in the region, secure vital shipping lanes, and access potential underwater resources. The world watches in disbelief. International communities, environmental organizations, and global leaders are raising alarms, questioning the long-term consequences of such aggressive development. China, despite its claims of peaceful development, is leaving a trail of environmental devastation in its wake. The construction of artificial islands, military installations, and infrastructure projects are causing irreversible damage to the marine environment. The question that echoes across the globe is simple: why? Why is such a rich and diverse ecosystem being sacrificed? The answers may lie in the pursuit of power, control, and economic gain, but the cost to our planet is immeasurable. The destruction of the Spratly Islands serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between development and conservation, and the urgent need for global cooperation to protect our natural world. The evidence of China's destructive activities is irrefutable. Satellite images tell a stark story. Once thriving coral reefs are now buried under artificial islands. Lagoons, once sanctuaries for marine life, are dredged and filled. This leaves behind a desolate landscape of concrete and steel. Reports from environmental groups paint a grim picture. Irreplaceable ecosystems are being decimated. The environmental toll is catastrophic and irreversible. The rate of destruction is staggering. Islands are disappearing at a pace never seen before. This is not mere construction, it's a calculated annihilation of an entire ecosystem. The evidence points to a deliberate strategy, but the motives remain shrouded in mystery. To understand the why, we must first delve into the what and the where. The Spratly Islands are located in the West Philippine Sea, a region that is not only rich in natural resources but also a critical maritime corridor. This area is a focal point for several nations, each with vested interests. The Spratly Islands, a scattering of islets, reefs, and atolls, are more than just picturesque landforms. They are strategically positioned and hold significant geopolitical importance. These islands are claimed by multiple countries, including China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei. They sit atop vast reserves of oil and natural gas. Estimates suggest that the West Philippine Sea could hold up to 11 billion barrels of oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. This makes the region a potential energy goldmine, attracting the attention of energy-hungry nations. These reserves hold immense economic potential. Control over these resources could significantly boost the economies of the claimant nations, providing energy security and economic growth. The competition for these resources is fierce, with each nation seeking to secure its share. The surrounding waters are teeming with fish stocks. The West Philippine Sea is one of the world's most productive fishing grounds, supporting the livelihoods of millions of people. The rich marine biodiversity is crucial for the food security of multiple nations in the region. These are vital for the food security of multiple nations. Overfishing and territorial disputes, however, threaten these fish stocks, making sustainable management a pressing concern. The competition for fishing rights adds another layer of complexity to the geopolitical tensions. Control over the Spratlys translates to control over vital shipping lanes. The West Philippine Sea is one of the busiest maritime routes in the world, with over a third of global shipping passing through its waters. This makes it a critical artery for international trade. These lanes carry trillions of dollars in trade annually. The uninterrupted flow of goods through these shipping lanes is essential for the global economy. Any disruption could have far-reaching consequences, affecting supply chains and economic stability worldwide. This strategic location elevates the Spratlys from mere islands to pawns in a high-stakes geopolitical game. The military presence in the region has been steadily increasing, with nations building up their naval capabilities to assert their claims and protect their interests. China's actions in this region have far-reaching consequences for everyone. China's extensive land reclamation and construction of military facilities on the islands have escalated tensions. These actions are viewed as aggressive by other claimant nations and have led to international calls for a peaceful resolution. The international community continues to call for dialogue and adherence to international law to resolve these disputes. The future of the Spratly Islands remains uncertain, but their significance in global geopolitics is undeniable. One theory posits that China's actions are driven by a desperate need for resources. China's economy, while large, is resource-hungry. It relies heavily on imports. Securing access to the oil and gas reserves in the West Philippine Sea would be a strategic coup. It would reduce China's dependence on foreign energy sources. This theory, while plausible, fails to explain the complete obliteration of the environment. If the goal was resource extraction, why destroy the very islands themselves? The scale of the destruction seems counterintuitive. It suggests a motive beyond simple resource acquisition. Could there be other factors at play? In recent years, the West Philippine Sea has become a focal point of international tension and strategic maneuvering. The Spratly Islands, a group of more than 100 small islands and reefs, have been at the center of this geopolitical chess game. Another theory suggests a significant shift in China's military strategy. This shift is not just about territorial claims, but also about projecting power and influence far beyond its shores. The Chinese military has been increasingly active in the West Philippine Sea, conducting operations that signal a new era of strategic ambition. The construction of artificial islands equipped with airstrips and deep-water ports is a clear indication of this shift. These islands are not just for show, they are designed to serve as forward operating bases. With these facilities, China can extend its reach and maintain a persistent presence in the region. This would project Chinese military power further into the Pacific, allowing for rapid deployment of forces and assets. The strategic positioning of these bases means that China can respond quickly to any regional developments, thereby increasing its influence and control. This growing presence could challenge the US presence in the region. The United States has long been the dominant naval power in the Pacific, but China's new strategy could alter the balance of power. Encounters between Chinese and US naval ships have become more frequent, raising the stakes for both nations. By controlling the West Philippine Sea, China could effectively control one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. This area is a critical maritime route, with trillions of dollars worth of goods passing through each year. Dominance over these waters would give China significant economic and strategic leverage. This would give them significant leverage in any future conflict. Control over the West Philippine Sea would not only enhance China's military capabilities, but also its economic influence. In times of conflict, this control could be used to disrupt global trade and exert pressure on other nations. The militarization of these artificial islands is a growing concern for many countries. Satellite images have revealed extensive military installations, including radar systems, missile launchers, and aircraft hangars. These developments suggest that China is preparing for a long-term strategic presence in the region. It has set off alarm bells in regional capitals and beyond. Countries in Southeast Asia, as well as global powers, are increasingly worried about the implications of China's actions. Security meetings and military alerts have become more common as nations seek to counterbalance China's growing influence. Is this China's way of asserting its dominance and redrawing the geopolitical map? The question remains whether these actions are a defensive measure or an aggressive strategy to reshape the regional order. As China continues to expand its military capabilities, the world watches closely, aware that the shifting sands of military strategy could have far-reaching consequences. A third theory, often overlooked, suggests internal pressures within China might be a driving factor. China's economy, while still growing, is facing headwinds. Rising debt, a slowing economy, and internal social pressures might be pushing Beijing to act rashly. The destruction of the Spratly Islands could be a way to distract from domestic problems. It plays on nationalistic sentiment. This rallies the population behind a common cause. This theory, while speculative, holds weight when considering the timing of China's actions. Is Beijing playing a high-stakes game of smoke and mirrors to divert attention from its internal woes?